Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. I'm coming to you, well, on tape from Huddersfield. And this is Let's Play Train Sim World, not Train Sim Classic, which is basically what I'm previewing for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be playing the Huddersfield Line in Train Simulator Classic. I accidentally activated this newspaper stand because this is a collectible for this route. What is in the news? Let's see. GDP dropped by minus 1.8%, which to me would be an increase. Grocery price surge bites budget as decade concludes. And video games to be. Okay, good. So we're waiting for a train to come in here. Let's go ahead and actually look at the map to find this train, because it should be up here somewhere. There it is. It is stopping at Dewsbury right now. I don't think the yellow signal on our track is going to activate immediately when it actually takes off. But at some point up here, the signal will change to yellow. And that'll be a sign for us that the train is on the way. Normally the signals would all turn green in real life, but the way this game works, you got a red at the end of some of the station platforms, and nothing sets beyond until you made your stop. So this way is kind of too bad that they don't do that in real life too, because then trains are ready to go and now you can reserve the path. But for realism purposes, they just leave everything. And for I guess to make things easier for all the drivers too, they just green path all the way as long as there's nothing in front of you. So you can see other stairways over there. So if I were to head down to, whoops, didn't want to go down that time. But if I were to go down the stairs back to the lower level, I could make my way over to that platform. There's another one seemingly over there, also seems to be fenced in. So taking a quick peek around here, there's a door. Well, guess what? We can't go in that door. There's no access to it. Okay. There's a path here. Oh, look, there's something over here. Oh, look, I can't go any further. That's as far as I can go. So, yep, that's useless. And heading over here to the end of the platform. So we're going to a nice casual walk here. There's a buffer over here, so trains can come in here to at platform 1A. There's a buffer at that platform. Excuse me. It's like a kind of a work area. And not really much else to discuss here. There appears to be some rail ties over there. And buildings, so that's what we need to see. So you can see we have a yellow signal here now. That means the train is on the way. I'm going to make my way over to the end of the platform. We're going to watch this train come in that we're going to be picking up in just a moment. Leaving Huddersfield on our tour of the second half of the route. Huddersfield, by the way, I forgot to mention at the introduction, is a grade 1 listed building. I didn't mention that last time either. And don't mind the weird light that shows up as we enter the Huddersfield tunnels. This is the Huddersfield South tunnel that we are now in. We're going to be seeing a line branching out as we leave this one tunnel up here. We're going to see the line branching to the Penistone line at Springwood Junction, which is at the end of the South tunnel here. Now, I understand from one of the videos that you see on YouTube that you see cab rides of different places in the UK, Germany, and all over the place on North America, so on YouTube. I understand that there's no junction indicator, or maybe I'm just understanding it wrong. Maybe the junction indicator indicates the Penistone line. I don't know if there is or not. I'm not sure how that works. We'll see that if we ever see a train take the Penistone line from another line while we're at Huddersfield. So here's the exit to the Huddersfield South Tunnel. Another entrance right ahead here. You can see the line going left. That's going to be the Penistone line. It goes away. We continue on. So this is now the Gladholt South Tunnel that we are in. I think there was another tunnel in this area too. I think it was something like the Paddock Tunnel. That tunnel is now closed. So this right bend here is going to bring us to the former Longwood and Milnesbridge station. And after that, we're going to have the Milnesbridge Viaduct. This would have been around where the station is, because you see the viaduct is right ahead here. You can see the signal at the end, marking where the end of the station would have been, I believe. And this is the viaduct, Milnesbridge Viaduct. While we cross the Milnesbridge Viaduct, I just want to point out, first of all, I'm already losing my camera view, so I'm going to push up a little bit here to try to help that view. I'm going to be doing that a lot here. There's another service going by. I believe that's the 45. You're that or 47. And I misidentified one as a 101 in the last video I noticed too. It was another 45 or 47. So I want to point out that on the last video I mentioned that I had missed White Rose Station and the location of that. Because Cottingley does not exist in this version of the route, it's kind of hard to even know where White Rose is as well. It's about 800 meters down the line, and what I found out is that it's going to replace Cottingley Station. So the absence of Cottingley is actually going to be accurate in this route. Within a few months of me posting this video, probably, or possibly by mid-2023, depending on if it's in time for the December timetable, or if not. If it is not, it will probably be in June of 2023, so or May of 2023, I should say, for that timetable. So we will see what happens in regards to that. We are going to be passing the site of Golkar. In any case, when that station opens, Cottingley will be closed. White Rose will be open. It's going to serve the White Rose Shopping Center, which I don't know if it's modeled in this route, if it's something from the 80s or not, but I'm told that it is modeled in the full route because someone saw it on the preview stream. I don't know what it looks like, so I wouldn't know, and I didn't bother trying to analyze that because I didn't realize White Rose existed during the preview stream. So I'm going to trust what that person said that it is there. They would also know about White Rose Station being built. So we're coming to the Golkar Viaduct right now. This would have been the site of Golkar that we just passed. So we should be going over the Golkar Viaduct. Actually, we might be past that whole arrangement already. The next station coming up will be Slaithwaite, and I know we're supposed to cross the Crimble Viaduct. And I'm reading that wrong. Slout, I think is how they say it locally. Slout Station. But we're going to cross that Crimble Viaduct on the way to Slout Station. Pardon me. Crimble Viaduct is right before Slout, and the Slout Viaduct will follow. So this is the Crimble Viaduct, I believe. I'll go ahead, I'll remove that dot from the middle now that I know how to do that, so you shouldn't see that dot anymore. I just hope that I don't have my camera view impacted too much as I crouch here. I didn't think it was going to go that quickly in the journey, go away from being good, but it did. So this is Slout. Of course, it's spelled as Slaithwaite. Good luck figuring that out if you're hearing Slout. I don't know how this is pronounced Slout, but apparently it is. And as usual, because I can't really do outside views, I will fast forward. I will see you at the end of this stop. So see you in a second here. Leaving Slout, our next stop will be Marsden. We don't have a lot of features to talk about here. In fact, coming right ahead here is the Slout Viaduct. And then we just have a pretty generic straight shot for a fair distance here before we make a turn to the south. And then a turn where we're going more almost due west at that point as we come into Marsden. So when we make that turn due west, you can see the compass in the screen in the corner of the around the time. When you see it start moving over to the west, we're going to be pulling into Marsden. Right now there's going to be a little bit of movement here and there, but we're going to have a noticeable bend south and then a noticeable bend to the west. Since there's not a lot to talk about in features here, I will talk about a little bit of what I learned. We're going to go ahead and look at some other stuff, hopefully while we're in the tunnel here, as long as everything works out here. I haven't taped those segments yet, so I can't really say for sure they're going to be there yet. So hopefully you get to see some things while we're going through the long tunnel later on after Marsden. But stand edge tunnel, I believe that is, once we're going through that. In any case, what I know from, I've been told that there's, I think, 7 scenarios. 6 or 7 scenarios, but I believe it's 7 because that's the number I've seen in DLC of late, so I think it will be 7 scenarios in the DLC. I've also learned that the stock includes a lot of trains, and I'm not going to be able to show you a lot, obviously, of the stock that's included with the route. But one thing I can show you is the Class 142, so I might show you a little quick burn of the 142, and maybe if I am able to, I'll bring up the Virgin Class 47, because I was able, and I'm just lucky to have this. I was able to pick up the Virgin pack, the Virgin First Generation pack, on Humble Bundle after it vanished from Steam. And right now, it's looking like the best $18 I've ever spent on a DLC. It literally is. And that's one of the more expensive ones. It's looking like the best $18 I've spent on a DLC right now, in terms of stuff, because I usually got a whole bunch of stuff on sale back then. So at the time, my most expensive purchase was a $34 route on sale because it was basically being pulled out after 4 months. So thankfully, I got the branded version of that. We'll talk about that later. So what I'm going to try and do is show you the 142 and maybe the Class 47 if I find it in a scenario. Those 2 trains I should be able to show you. The Virgin 47 obviously will not be the one that's on this route. It's going to be a reskin of it, but what I've been told is that the 47 in this route on Train Sim Classic will be a reskin of that Virgin train. So they're going to be bringing that Virgin train back as is, not really much change to it. There's just going to be a skin to go with the route that goes with it. And I think I said in a previous video, or if I didn't, I will now, that it would be kind of nice if the backdated Train Sim reskin collection that uses the Virgin First Generation pack, if they can actually be applied to this version instead, the Huddersfield version of the train. Because if that can be done and all the file associations are from that, then that means everyone can use them, not just the people that got the Virgin pack, but everyone. So I hope that's something they're looking at doing when the route comes out. I expect it is. I probably don't even need to say anything about it. And they wouldn't listen to me anyway, I don't think. So we'll see if they do that. In any case, we are coming up to Marsden. And then I'll see if I can give you a preview of those trains. See the semaphore signals. I forgot the term last time. The semaphore signals. And I was kicking myself afterwards after I forgot that. They are in place on this route. What I understand is that in the newest version of the route, which is the current modern day version of the route, all those semaphore signals are replaced to make way for electric trains. So they're still doing wiring on the route, I believe, and electric trains will be running on this route. I think, in fact, Neo 2 might even already be going to Manchester. I don't know if it goes all the way to Leeds or Liverpool. I should say Liverpool. In any case, we are stopping at Marsden. I'll see you on the other side. Leaving Marsden, our next stop is going to be at, I believe, Greenfield, unless I missed something in my notes here, but I believe it is Greenfield. We're going to be coming up to the stand edge tunnel in about, I want to say about 30 seconds or so. I want to draw attention to a feature that may or may not exist on this version of the route. I don't know when it was built, but the Canal Aqueduct is right near the tunnel entrance on this side of the stand edge tunnel. So it's kind of good that we're going in this direction so we can see if it's there. You're going to see it on the left as we come to the tunnel entrance, about a couple seconds away from the tunnel. So let's see if they've actually reproduced it. This is a building, this is not a tunnel. So we're going to see if they've created that Canal Aqueduct. And you can actually see it right there, that staircase there. That is the Canal Aqueduct. Water comes flowing down there into some chasm, which apparently drops down into the river there. So now we're entering the stand edge tunnel. Let's take a look now as we see the tunnel and exit apparently up ahead. Let's go ahead and take a look now to see the Class 142 and the Class 47 that we already have in the game, and that I believe the Huddersfield route is going to be based on. So let's take a look at those very quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Liverpool-Manchester route and the Class 142. Let's take a look at the train from outside. We're not going to play the scenario today, we're just going to do a train preview today, but this is a scenario on Liverpool-Manchester. We are parked at Manchester-Oxford Street. This is the 142. It's kind of ironic that these scenarios are on Liverpool-Manchester, because if you continue from Manchester-Oxford, you're going to find Deansgate. You remember that little loop I mentioned that takes you back to the north? Well, there's Deansgate Castleford eastbound, Deansgate Castleford westbound. We're at Deansgate itself. And somehow up here, this is where Water Junction is, I believe, right here. This takes us to the Chat Moss route, and you can see that this heads up towards Bolton. Meanwhile, Manchester Piccadilly is right there, and you can get to Ardwick. That continues to Ashbury's Guide Bridge, and then Sally Bridge is somewhere up in this general direction right around here somewhere. So that's kind of what we're dealing with on this route. So, as you can imagine, Manchester to Victoria is somewhere up here as well in this blacked out area. So we're actually on the same general route heading towards, of all things, Liverpool Lime Street. And the Chat Moss is right here in this big gap in the middle here. This is the Chat Moss area that connects back right here. So that's what we're dealing with on this map on Liverpool Manchester. But we're not doing that today. We're not doing any of this scenario stuff that you see here today. We're just looking at this. Now, I believe it's the exact same train. Because the actual pack, well, stop pushing that. Because the actual pack comes with the route, I imagine it's probably this livery that we're going to get with the train. I do not know if they include another livery with the train in the route. So if they did, we're going to get to see that. As you can see, Warrington Central is the destination on this train. F7, F8 do nothing on this, so I'm going to have to learn how to do that as well with the 142. I seem to never learn how to do those destination blinds, but they're always set, so I don't care. Yeah, that's basically the train right there. This is what the 142 looks like. If we get in the cab, you're going to see, if I bring up the HUD, it seems to be a sort of a notch throttle. So you actually have notches on the throttle. So it appears to be a 7-notch throttle. We'll go ahead and look at this train in more detail in the future. You can see the brakes are obviously stepped as well. 3-step braking situation, the normal reverser with its normal... Notice, by the way, that I can't actually move the reverser up right now. I wonder why that is. You may have to actually do something with the master key. Nope, apparently this reverser doesn't want to move. I'm going to figure out why that is another time. Like maybe when we first get this tomorrow. But anyway, this is the 142. Let's take a quick look at another train, the Class 47, looking at the Virgin Trains model. And now we end up in a Christmassy environment. There's a Class 47 actually coming towards us right now, so that's exactly what we're in right now. This is the Virgin Trains first generation pack with scenarios on, and I did not realize it was this route. Scenarios are on West Coast Main Line North. We're parked here at Lanark, and this is actually the West Coast Main Line North route all the way to Glasgow up here at the top. You can see Coatbridge, Sunnyside somewhere in this direction over here before it branches off at Gartcosh Junction. So Coatbridge, Sunnyside is probably right here. Yeah, there it is. Coatbridge, Sunnyside, a little bit of route beyond that as well, with a yard up there before it branches off, heading towards places like Springburn and such. And then, of course, the entire route going down in this direction, all the way down here towards Carlisle. We are going to look at this route and study this route in detail at a later time, but first let's look at this train. This is not what it's going to look like, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Class 47, but this is the Virgin Trains look of it. And if we zoom in on this lovely beauty, you can see the Virgin logo on there. DTG can no longer offer this. I have this. You unfortunately can't get it if you don't have it. Sorry, you can't. I can't help you with that. It's not possible for me to even give you a copy of this. It's illegal for me to do that if I even try. And you can see the train we're on is also called the Cadirlian Bangor Cathedral. Cadirlian Bangor Cathedral. I will not even be able to figure out how to say that. Next to us is another train called Nothing. The other train is called Nothing. I will find out. I will find out, I say. And I will butcher. I must find names to butcher. I must butcher the name. Give me a name. Give me a name to butcher. You're not going to give me a name to butcher. You're not going to give me a name to butcher. Okay. I see how it is. I butchered it so badly you don't want me to butcher anymore. How dare you? You don't trust my skills at speaking words? No, you don't. Okay, anyway, like I said, they're not going to look like these trains. They are not going to look like this at all. Class 47s, hi. Yeah, they're not going to look like this at all, and we're going to be seeing a different look of them. Let's go ahead and take a look inside the cab to see how this one operates, other than the wipers, which obviously turn on there. I'm told that the train is going to operate similar to this one. Basically, someone from DTG has confirmed it is the Virgin train in the pack. It's just obviously skinned differently. So the important thing to know is how the brakes work. We have a minimum full release there, obviously, but we have a minimum reduction, which will obviously give us a little bit of slowing. Self-lap will obviously increase that, and then we go to higher and higher in self-lap until we get to full service. Then you saw that went into emergency, which I didn't know where the notch was. But self-lap is an increasing level of brake, whereas it notches at minimum reduction, so you have minimal brakes. Let's take a quick look at the reverse. We're moving it into... There are 3 levels here: reverse, engine only, and forward. I didn't even get an AWS self-test, which seems like a mistake. So if I were to move the train forward, you notice that it says on 350 RPM. It actually goes up to 750. I'm going to go ahead and stop now because I don't want to go anywhere right now. I don't want to actually play this scenario. But you can see that it goes into a RPM level. So you can go to a shunt level, and then you go on to various levels of RPM. So I'll keep the brake on this time because it controls me a little bit. That's a much different view of the Class 47 than you would see in any other setup for any other Class 47. Like the old Kuju ones, they didn't do that. You basically had levels of throttle and that was it. You actually get to decide whether you want 350, 500, 750, up to 750 that is, RPM, any level 25 in between on each one, so it goes steps to 25, from 350 to 750. That means that it looks like you have about 17 levels of power. It also looks like to me there is no idle setting. If you want to take the engine off and coast, you're going to be risking losing speed. There's no idle setting, there's no cruise control, anything else it looks like. But we will take a tour of this train in the future when we get to the route. Right now this is just a quick preview look at what the Class 47 from Virgin Trains looks like, because the one we're going to get is basically, I'm told, this train. And if we have that RPM thing, that's going to be something you guys are going to have to get used to. So keep an eye out for that. Anyway, back to the cab ride. Let's go ahead and finish this drive to Manchester Victoria and to Newton Heath Yard. I'll see you back in the cab. So we just exited Stand Edge Tunnel. I hope you enjoyed that preview of a couple of the trains. We'll talk more about those in a second because we've got some features to talk about here. This is Diggle Junction right here. Fun fact, coming from the other direction, the junction on the track on the far right of us right now is a 25 mile per hour junction, but there's actually no sign directing the speed into that junction. You're expected to know that if you have to go into that junction. So there's no excuse in the route learning. You're told 25 junction, you're expected to know that. That is the Diggle Junction signal box that just went by. Obviously, signaling is now controlled by the centers, the main centers for the entire route. So those signal boxes are pretty much no longer used in most cases along any route in the UK. But there are still a few that I'm sure get used. I just don't know anything about them. The Micklehurst line should have been branching off around this point. I saw in another video that they've apparently the name Chew Valley has something to do with the Micklehurst line. I don't know the information behind that. And I didn't have time to research that for this video, but apparently Chew Valley is another name of Micklehurst line or something to that effect. I know there was a station along that line that used to be serviced and then reconnected to this route to go to obviously Leeds and Manchester. Let me actually see if I can get the name of that station because I actually have a map up of that right now. And if I check my map here, the Micklehurst line. Now we're going to be passing the old Moorgate station as we come to Greenfield as well. I don't have an exact location of that, other than to say it's along the stretch after this curve, about halfway along before the curve to Greenfield. Station on the other route was on Micklehurst was Friesland, Friezland. Friesland was the station serviced by the Micklehurst line, and it also served. It did go through the Bosley area. It also served Staley and Millbrook. And then it rejoined the line before Stalybridge. We may by now have passed Moorgate. There is a Moorgate Halt PF crossing along this area as well, which I might have missed. So, and since we're coming up to the curve, I'm pretty sure I did miss it, but it was in this stretch. If you saw a crossing, that was that crossing. We also crossed the Salford Viaduct after where the station building would have been. This curve is going to take us into Greenfield. You should be able to see the platform coming up in just a moment. There's a train coming around right now, so never mind the platform. We're seeing a train coming around. That is definitively a 101, I'm pretty sure about that. And there, as the 101 moves off, you can see the platform that we're stopping at coming up. And now the other platform showing up on the right of that track as well. You can also see the signal box for Greenfield up here as well, it looks like. Now, a fun little fact about Greenfield that I did not know, and thank you to a Don Coffey video that I saw about 2 weeks ago for pointing this out. Apparently the line from Oldham joined on a separate track over on the far right. You can't actually really see it here in this game. I don't see the line on the pavement that you can actually see in his video. But there was actually a track that went in here. That track is obviously no longer there, but in the real life station, you can actually see evidence of the existence of a former platform there. So, neat little piece of trivia there. In case, I'll see you on the other end of the stop here at Greenfield. Departing Greenfield, our next stop will be at Mossley. And once again, we have a fairly featureless area, so I'm going to return to the discussion of the trains I had earlier as we pass the Greenfield signal box here. So I showed you the class 142, and by the way, these are just very quick previews. I'm not doing anything lengthy on those, obviously. I just showed you a very quick preview while we were in the tunnel. We're going to talk more about the actual trains in the scenarios when there's a nice little road going underneath, by the way. I don't know the name of that right now. I'll try and get that in a future video if I remember. But the 142, I showed you that, and I showed you the 47. Just a quick preview of what the trains look like and how they operate, but not anything in terms of scenario play. I did bring up in scenarios, obviously, but not anything in terms of scenario play. I didn't actually start those scenarios, or tell you what they were. So those are just two of the trains that are going to be involved in the route. We're going to be seeing the Armstrong Class 158, which we have confirmed. And I believe this is not the crossing. I'm looking for, there is a crossing here I might have missed already, but if not, I want to mention it when we pass it. So I know that 158 is coming, and from what I understand, the scenarios are mostly going to involve those three trains, the 142, the 47, and the 158. However, there is a Class 08 that comes with the route, and it's actually been revealed that there's a Class 03. And the 03 used to be seen at Leeds. I think it came from Doncaster, so you're not going to see it in any scenarios, obviously. But the 03 did have time at Leeds. It was seen at Leeds, so it was included for the sake of anyone who might want to use that train, say on the Leeds to Doncaster to York route. It could be seen traveling on that route apparently to get to Leeds, I'm guessing. So the 03 is now there for use by those people who I presume are members of Alan Thompson's Sim, because well, that's where the route basically resides, and it's currently a subscription-only route unless there's a change in their model, but it is currently listed as a subscription-only route. The Leeds to Doncaster version, or segment, however, version 1 of the route is free to all users. Just the version to York is subscription-ware. So you can get the Doncaster leg for free, and any upgrades on the York version will not be included, I'm pretty sure, on the Doncaster-only version. But the 03 can run on that route, so there you go. I don't think I saw the crossing here. I'm going to assume I'm just blind, I missed it. The Stockport Road crossing should have occurred, I think, by now. I think it was a little further back. So maybe you saw it, I just didn't call it out, or maybe we haven't seen it yet. But in any case, those are the 5 trains that come with the route, and yeah, it was further back, because this is Mossley Station right here. So those are the 5 trains that come with the route. And people have questioned why they're releasing such old stock for a route that is supposed to be a modern route. And I mentioned it's not even going to be modern in a couple months when the Collingwood Station no longer exists. It's not going to be modern because White Rose isn't going to be there. So hopefully that gets fixed in the future and we get that over time. But we'll talk more about that on the other end of about the stock that is on the other end of our stop here at Mossley. So I will idle here for a moment. I'll see you in a minute. Leaving Mossley, our next stop will be I believe it's Stalybridge. And that's where the route splits into the Manchester Victoria and Manchester Piccadilly segments in what is in part of the area apparently is known as the Manchester Throat, because all the other trams and other kinds of trains, light rail, they all come in to use the same station network. Some with their own stations at Manchester Piccadilly and Manchester Victoria as well. Our route, of course, is going to go by Manchester Victoria. As we leave, we're entering a tunnel here. This tunnel is called the Scout Tunnel. As you see, it's a very short tunnel. I think it's only about 202 meters or something like that. So it's a very short tunnel. As we continue along, we're eventually going to see another line appearing on the left, or on the right, sorry, on the right. That's going to be a re-platforming line that is used by Stalybridge if they have to, because there are trains that stop at Stalybridge. What will sometimes happen is that they will bring a train beyond Stalybridge station, because they can't just reverse out in some cases. They have to move it to a line that can actually accept trains in that direction. So what would happen is they would reverse the train, or pull the train forward into that segment, change ends there, and then pull back into Stalybridge on a different platform to begin the next service. So I'll talk more about the lines and how they're designated as we get up there. Actually, I don't even see it. Maybe the line didn't exist in the time that this route was created, because we're now coming up to, I believe, the Stalybridge Old Tunnel. Or maybe there's another tunnel I'm missing here. So this line might have been a new addition since this route was created. That might be why we didn't see it here. But we will surely see it when we do the route, because I do remember seeing it on the videos that I watched. So we will see it in TSC videos on this route. I also don't think I saw the detail on this tunnel on the as we went into it. I don't know if that was a mistake, but there is supposed to be some detail on that tunnel as we enter. And there should be a gap in the tunnel as well. We did not see the gap. So that's actually inaccurate. I believe even though we saw the re-platforming line, I can still say about the lines here. The middle line here is basically an up-down line, whereas the line on the right, I believe, is the down line. The one on the left, I believe, is the up line. Those could be reversed if I have them wrong, but I believe that's how they're organized. So when I say this is an up-down line, a train coming from Victoria could be moved into... or sorry, let me try that again. A train coming from Piccadilly could probably use the same platform we're pulling into now. And by pulling into this platform, it would be a down platform for them. Whereas, or sorry, I'm saying that wrong, aren't I? It would be an up platform for them. Sorry, it would be an up platform for them. But because we're going over to the Victoria line, we need to be on this side to get to Victoria. This is a down line for us. So that is what we're looking at here. We are... actually, no, this is the up line. Wait, this is, I'm saying that wrong. This is up for us, down for them. I'll get this figured out. Not that it really matters to me. It's only a reference to London. It doesn't really matter to me if it's an up or a down, but I know there are people who want to hear it right. I will try to get it right for you. In any case, Stalybridge, also known locally as Stally Vegas after some bars and restaurants opened in the area. I guess there's must be some flashy bars and restaurants to be known as Stally Vegas. This is probably a recent development, not anything to do with this route. And Stalybridge Junction is just ahead with the branch over to Manchester Piccadilly, going to the left. We'll see that in a moment. So here we are stopping at Stalybridge. I will see you as usual as we pull up to the red signal. And AI in this game, the signal goes out of sight, but apparently it's still legal. Can't even see the signal, and they don't just go when they just somehow know it's green. I'll see on the other side of this. After what seemed like a very quick stop at Sally Bridge, we are off to our next stop. I'm going to keep quiet for right now as to what that next stop is. You're probably thinking the next stop is Manchester Victoria. Well, it's actually not true. There's actually another station open before then. It actually is Ashton under Lyne. Never mind, there is an open station there. Ashton under Lyne is the next stop. It actually is not too far away. We're only talking about maybe 3 miles or so away at most from Ashton under Lyne. I don't know the exact distance offhand, so don't quote me on that. So now the lines briefly merge together. We're now going to take the line to the right. And you can see what looks like a tunnel entrance over there. I don't think it actually is a tunnel. I think it's actually something else over there. I don't know what that is on the left. That might be a buffer for a track that ends there. I don't know. It does make sense. Because I've seen a video from Manchester Piccadilly as well, and I don't think it looks like that. But whatever the case may be, we are continuing on our line, which is going to take us to, that might be a bridge actually. It's taking us to Manchester Victoria and obviously to Ashton under Lyne. A signal for the other direction is over there on the other line. We have a green signal. So we're going to proceed at line speed for the time being. Again, there's not a lot to talk about feature-wise here, but I'm also running out of things to talk about. So here's the one feature coming. Actually, no, that's a road going over, and I don't know what road that is. I will be printing out a list of the various roads. I did find a railway data site, one that I've used before for Falmouth Branch, and I think for another route. And I did find a list of all the roads, the street names. Since I know the route is supposed to be modern and current, of course, for a few months, since I know it's supposed to be modern and current, I know the street names and all that will be accurate. So the roads going above and below the track, like these bridges you see here, will be accurate. Anyway, this is the Catherine Street Tunnel, very short tunnel. And in the future, I will try to get some of the information on some of the roads, just to give you an idea of what, like for example, what road this is and what purpose it serves as we go under. You see a lot of roads here, and I could probably name off some of these roads as time goes on. And with a guide, because I will in no way ever memorize that. And don't expect me to. Pardon me on that. And this is Ashton under Lyne. You can see the barrier at the end saying do not go past here. And you see some crap along the track. That's on the platform, so some clutter there. We are on platform number 1. And there is a sign for Ashton under Lyne. We don't actually go all the way to the end of the platform on this one. We just stop right here in the middle, which is kind of nice. I will see you on the other side of this stop. The semaphore signal arm raises ahead. We now leave Ashton under Lyne. You'll notice that it was a yellow because that would have been a distance signal that you would have seen at the end of the platform there. And again, these signals are no longer going to be in use with electric trains. Like there's going to be electric wiring and everything running through here. You're not going to see those anymore. But anyway, as for our next stop, now I'm going to keep quiet. I'm not going to tell you where we're stopping next. Keep in mind this is an 80s version of the route, so it is not a modern version of the route. I will keep quiet at this point. I shall say nothing. I just said nothing. Darn. Anyway, we're going to be coming to the Ashton Moss North Junction, and there's a line coming in from there. Let me actually see if I can quickly get information about it before we reach it. I probably won't have it in time. But there is a line that connects at the Ashton Moss North Junction. And it comes, I know Crowthorne Junction is also on that line, but there's a connection. This line that you just saw going to the left, that no longer exists. That is gone. So that would have been a different junction, and the name of that junction would have been the Ashton East Junction. It no longer exists. That would go to the Denton Junction to OA and GB Junction Spur. And coming in now is the rest of the Denton Junction to, the Junction Spur line. That line is not used, I understand, by passenger services at this time. But at the same time, that line is also another way to connect to the area to the west of Guide Bridge. It actually goes under Guide Bridge as the Audenshaw West Junction. And eventually it gets to Denton Junction, which goes to Denton, and that's another connection to Guide Bridge from the other direction. We'll continue on our merry way in the meantime. We would have crossed the M60 by this point. That might have actually been the bridge right there, actually. There might be another line joining us here, but this might be a lifted line. The if I can get the name of it without my machine messing up, Ashton Moss Junction to Droylsden Junction would be joining in somewhere in this area. But again, the line, I don't know when that line closed, if it was before the 1980s. If so, the line may already be lifted. So this may not exist. I'm trying to keep an eye out for the Clayton Viaduct because the Clayton CCTV or Clayton Bridge CCTV crossing, I should say it's the Clayton Bridge Viaduct because the CCTV level crossing would be right after that. So that's what I'm keeping an eye out for right now. Once again, though, this is 1980s route, so I'm not sure how accurate that CCTV crossing would be, or if it's on this route or not. Or if it's even simulated, to be honest with you. But the viaduct is kind of hard not to. I know it's a left curve to get out of the viaduct, that much I can confirm. I might have already missed it. If so, we might be coming to Bagley Fold Junction. But this, I believe, is the Clayton Bridge Viaduct, so the CCTV crossing is probably right after this. Yep, there it is, right there. That's the CCTV crossing. You can see the barriers down there. So we are going to continue along. And this will take us to the Bagley Fold Junction. That junction provides a connection to another line called the Phillips Park and Ashbury's branch. It does. I don't think it has any stations on it. It's just another way to get to Ashbury. And it might. I know there are some circle services. Redcar, for example, has a service that goes around the Manchester Circle, I believe. I'm not sure how often this line gets used, but it may very well be utilized by other services that to get from this side to Ashbury's and then again circle back around through Guy Bridge without actually stopping in Manchester. It is possible. I don't know if it's actually done though. So that junction is going to head off right here. Now as we continue along the lines on our side, we're going to get to the Park Station Junction. I don't know what that actually does, to be honest with you. But you can see that we are actually pulling into Park Station. This is a station that, if you look on the actual route today, and I believe I noticed it in the in TSC as well, this is a disused station. The station is still there, but obviously it's overgrown. You don't see any sign that anything ever happens there anymore. So nowadays the station is disused, and nothing happens there. But it is, in this game, Park Station. It is our next stop. So we are stopping here right now. I'll see you on the other side of this stop. As we leave the old Park Station, previously served by Briscoe Lane and Grimshaw Lane, We're going to continue along, and these are roads I'm talking about now. We're going to continue along to what is labeled as West Curve Junction. It comes from the same line that we just saw another track going to. It's basically the end of the triangle. So we're going to be watching those tracks joining in. Those tracks will be joining us at Phillips Park West Junction. To get there, we will be crossing Lord North Street and I don't know, some kind of creek or a river after that. Might be a roadway, actually. So this is Phillips Park West Junction. As we cross Oldham Road, you're going to see another line head off to the north. This is on our way to the Miles Plating Junction. So the line in question is the Miles Plating connecting line, which takes us to, I believe it's called Newton Heath Yard. We're going to be visiting there after at the end of this journey as well. We are going to head there. There's a 1415 service using the same train going in that direction. This is actually the old Miles Plating station. Unlike Park Station, this was completely, demolished. So the path you see on everything you see on the right, there seems to be supposed to be some stuff on the left where the platform is for us now, as you come along the track in the present day. But that's just probably finishing the construction work from 1995 when this station closed. You can see this station was right on the junction. So when you look at it from the other side, you're going to notice that there is a. We'll see it on the drive back up to Newton Heath. You're going to see that this actually serves as the tracks. Platform 3 and 4 we will actually go through on the way to Newton Heath. So let's finish our stop here. This is our last stop before the main one at Manchester Victoria. I'll see you on the other side. Leaving Miles Plating and fully crossing Miles Plating Junction. The tracks do merge in. Again, that path goes to Newton Heath that you're seeing. We will go there after this journey. And after a little quick look around the part of Manchester Victoria we end up in. Not the whole station, but part of it. So now we're on the up Rockdale. We're now heading towards Manchester Victoria. The line that goes to Newton Heath also goes to Rockdale. Rochdale is how you spell that, if you're not familiar with the name. I certainly wasn't. Though I thought I heard something like it before here, but I don't think it's exact. In any case, there's a number of tracks that are going to be coming and going from the one that we're on right now. I'm not even going to try to name all of them, but we are going around the Oldham Road Junction, and I think that's one of the first connections we're going to see here. That line over there, I think, is a line, something to do with the Oldham Road goods line. So I think those are the Oldham Road's goods lines that you see over there. And those would have left our way to the left. So now we have the Caldervale line on the two tracks to our right. That is the Caldervale line. That has joined us at Miles Plating. We're keeping all four tracks, it looks like, as we're going, even though there was a merge. We are keeping all four tracks, at least on this version of the route. It looks like on the current real-life version there is as well. So we're on the Manchester Victoria and Miles Plating line, and the Calderview line is to the right, in two tracks on each. You can see another track coming in to join here. I'm trying to get information on that. I believe that's the Metrolink. That's the MVB1 Metrolink. It is joining us over here on the line. It actually does merge with our line. So now we're on a mixed line with heavy rail traffic as the Metrolink actually joins our line. You can see the Phillips stick and shoes or whatever it says over there. Stick and soles, I don't know. Another track is, that's actually a junction, never mind. It's not another track, it's a junction joining our line. So we're going to pull to Manchester Victoria. The Metrolink does have its own Manchester Victoria set of platforms. I'll try and give you a quick look at the map. Again, keep in mind this is a 1980s map when I do that. Now, typically, if we were to continue on the main line and not pull into our ending track that we're going to be pulling into here, we would actually be seeing the next station coming up, which would be Salford Central. So that would be along the main line. After Salford Central, the route would reconnect at Irwell Street Junction, which would pass by a number of other junctions, including, well, I can't see the name of right now, but I should know, Orswell something. And then eventually at Water Street Junction on that curve, you would get back to Deansgate. So if you know where Deansgate is on the Liverpool-Manchester route, continuing straight along would take you back around to Deansgate if you go around the curve. But the Salford Central also gives you access to the Chat Moss route, which you see at Alton Thompson Sim. We're now pulling into platform number 6. Looks like platform number 6 here at Manchester Victoria. There's a holding line in the middle that you can see, but we are going to stop here on number 6. You can see that we have a lot of people looking at our at these empty tracks, which is going to mean a lot of people are going to look at our train. We're not going to waste time with them. We're going to go ahead and take a quick peek around here for a moment as this train service finishes. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the cab and we'll take a look outside. So looking over now from platform 5, you can see again there's people staring at the train here, and the train's going to eventually close its doors here. And the driver, who is, I'm zoomed in quite a bit there, I didn't even realize. The driver who's over here is going, "Thank you, sir." The driver's already vanished. The door is apparently closed, the driver vanished. So that's the end of that service. Let's go ahead and look around quickly. So you can see some buildings over here on this side. This is the end, I believe, of the station. We can't really go too much further. I don't want to get lost because we need that train at 2:15. We can head over to this side and take a look out over here on this side of the station. And there you go. So you can see some buildings there. We can't actually go in there. That's kind of like a backdoor exit passengers are not allowed to use. And everything's fenced off, as you can see. There's some kind of a nice detail going into a doorway. We, of course, can't use the doorway. And, yeah, that's all we need about that. So we're going to go where the passengers are coming in. This is the passenger entry point, it looks like. There are some signage up here. And we cannot go past here. This is no access to people who work for the railway, apparently. Don't get too close to that. I don't know if that's a collectible. I don't want to do all the collectibles yet. And if we continue along on this side, more things to read here in terms of destination boards. And all the way over here, you can see this is where the through track is located. So this track takes you through. Let's take a quick look. Pulling up 9 on the map, you can see all the tracks coming through. These are the platforms over here where our train will be leaving for the yard. But these are all through tracks and some more metro tracks and such. And I actually unlocked a poster on this track by accident on this station over here. We're not going to go over there right now because when I got over there, I was on class 45. But down here heads towards Salford Central. That's where Salford Central is located. That's obviously our route. Our route actually ends right around this point. We can't go any further past this area. So all of this is closed off to us. We can't go down any of that. So let's go back to our train. Pardon me. I'm going to run because I feel like I'm going too slowly now. Doing some sidestepping here because I'm a genius. What are you people all doing here? Platform 7 and 8 here is what these numbers are. Okay, excuse me, coming through. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, I have a cab ride to do here, gentlemen. Let me through. Ooh. That is actually apparently... Okay, never mind. I'm reading it wrong. So I'm going to, hop in here because these doors are not going to open to let me on this time. So I'm going to hop in here. And as soon as our driver comes along, we're going to say goodbye to these people. And, wave because I have special access to a train that they don't. Now, if I want to, I can actually hop over and sit in this seat. And I can actually activate this service. It's a 14:15 service going to the yard. And about half an hour from now, that train's going to be coming back here to start another service. So we're not going to drive it ourselves, even though I probably have the skill required to do so. I actually have not been trained on any of these trains yet. So I'm just going to assume I don't have the skill to do so. Before our train gets going, I want to show off something interesting as well. Another thing on the map, you're going to notice these yards up here. I don't think these exist today. I don't know what these are. If anyone knows, please leave a comment. I want to know what these are. I don't think they're there today, and I don't know if we can actually walk to them in this game, but maybe I'll try someday. Leaving Manchester Victoria Platform 6. It looks like we have a red signal here, but doesn't make sense to me. We must have a shunt signal somewhere that I can't read because our driver is proceeding. So we must have it clear somehow. We're coming to what looks like a blank signal up ahead. Let me get rid of this circle for you again. The signal actually looks in the other direction. That's probably why. And again, I don't see a green signal, so I'm not sure how we're being routed here. As far as I know, we're passing a red signal. But now we're coming up to definitively a green signal on this track over here, and we are clear to proceed from this illegally accessed point that we have reached. So all the metro lines I was talking about earlier are going to come and go from the route again. They're going to go exactly the way they came in, and we're going to see the goods lines come in exactly the way they went out. The goods line actually ended at Oldham Road, and where we were in Manchester Victoria is almost due west of Oldham Road's station location, or whatever it was they used that. Might be slightly north of the latitude in question. So the Metrolink lines apparently went down in that tunnel. That will be the path towards Queens Road Junction, which I believe is a station on the Metrolink line. So Queens Road Junction would have been up there. Quick peek at the map. That would be up in this general area up here. Queens Road Junction is somewhere up here. Pardon me again. So we're now crossing momentarily what would be the Oldham Road Junction. Obviously the route that comes from Oldham Road for the goods lines. We're going to be making our way onto one of the tracks to the left at this point. Now we're on the right, they're on the left. So we're going to make our way onto one of those lines for access to the yard. This will be after Oldham Road Junction. So I believe we have now traversed over to the left. I actually was looking away when it happened. We are now on the first line going through, the one on the far left, which is the way you normally travel in the UK. Anyway, so that's fine. This is the other half of Miles Plating Station. Again, all demolished now. This is where Platform 4 was located that we are going through. But if you're walking around this game, don't expect to catch a train at this platform. No siree, you're not going to get a train at platform number 4. Or 3. Once again, you see the semaphore signals here. I don't know if those semaphores still exist today or if electric trains now go here as well. But it's possible those may have been replaced as well. Now that line you're seeing going to the left here, I'm seeing if I can get some quick data as to where that goes. I don't actually know offhand. And I think that is, again, a Caldervale line thing. Obviously we're on the Caldervale line now. So I think it's just a line that goes alongside the track. I don't know much about it. But like I said, I know that there is a yard in this area that I can't seem to see on the map today. I have no idea what it is. We are going to have a line from Central Park that is eventually going to cross us before we get to the yard that we are going into. But I don't know what any of those other yards, I'll show you the map again. I don't know what any of the yards up here are. I know nothing about this. We're going to be seeing them eventually join in over here as well through these junctions. But I don't know what they are at all. It might just be part of what used to be a much bigger Newton Heath yard, but then they must decide they didn't need those tracks anymore. So those tracks probably got lifted, and the area in question looks like it's covered by something else today. I see a road called Northampton Road in that general area, and also a connecting road called the Gate. I think it's called the Gateway, which seems to be a common name in many cities actually. Central Park Station crosses nearby in that area as well. So I think the area must have just got turned into a metro area, and metro lines came over here as a result. But so that's part of the yard right there. The metro route is going to be crossing us. I don't believe this is the metro route. So we have a signal box here. I don't know if it's called the Newton Heath signal box or what it's called, and I don't know if there's actually a name on the signal box or not. As you see, we're moving over to the right lane right now because we are pulling into the yard. There is a red signal for going straight, it looks like. We're just going to go straight into the yard. Never mind, we're going on the right line on the main 2 after all. That's a different part of the yard we're not going into. Now, interestingly, the train is probably going to leave from that area. I just think you can't go in from that area. Maybe it wasn't able to be done both ways, so it just is a permanent red signal to keep the junction closed. So we're now definitively in the yard. We're going to be pulling ahead a little ways here. I've already looked at this once. I know what this train is going to do. It's really kind of funny to see what it's going to do. But after we pull up and come to a full stop, which we're going to stop here for a moment anyway, I think you actually have to stop here to be processed. So I think this is kind of like a processing line here. And it's probably in the task list for the driver to stop, which is why you're going to see us stop. There's a 47 over there. We're going to be somewhere in the... I'm not sure if it's that part of the yard or the other side of it. We'll see in a moment. So there's our stop now processed. Now, if you were to look at the map as you're seeing the AI train driving along, you might be thinking, well, we can throw the junctions and mess with this guy. No, you can't. The junctions are actually locked while a train is has them set for its path, so the junctions are actually locked. So this junction you can't change while the train is on it or even heading towards it. You're not allowed to. The 2 after this one you actually can change because the train's not going to use either of these junctions up here, which is funny because we seem to be going on one of them. But you could actually change these because they're not using them. We're about to back up, so we're coming to a stop right now. Let's go to a number 2 view. Never mind, we have to sit down and do that, so I'll do that quickly if I can. Where's a chair? Here it is. Number 2 view. There we go. So you can see this is number 3, so that's actually the front now. So you can see the one train over there. We're going to have to go backwards at this point, so I'm going to go back to a 3. Apparently it doesn't like this today. Okay. You can see some sheds over there, which I'm sure are used for things. We're going to be having our camera disrupted in a moment, so I'm going to kind of just do this to get away from the shed. And now I'll go ahead and I'll zoom back in. Actually, I'll do it this... Oh, this is nice. Oh, how is that for a cab view, ladies and gentlemen? That's not what I wanted. Okay, that didn't work. You know what? That's close enough. I did not expect I was going to get this cab view, so let's just follow along on this side. I was not ready for that, guys. I was not ready for that. So now we're parking our train here. And this is where we get off. There's no driver on this side, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and return to our one view in this cab because that's where our driver was. Our service is done, so we don't have anything else to do here. Let's just go ahead and detach from our seat. And if we sit in the driver's seat now, it's going to tell us it's a 15:45 service, taking us back to Manchester, Victoria. We're not going to do that because we've now seen the entire route. There's no reason for us to hang around here. I'm going to see if I can get this door open, which seems to be a challenge sometimes. How do you get this door open? Sure. I use the cabin light. I am a genius. Okay, cool. I just gained points for using the cabin light. That was not the intention. Now, getting off this train sometimes can be difficult. I want to find the exact position, C, crouch please, to get off this train. This door is locked. Can I unlock this door, please? I can open the window, which doesn't help me very much, but I can't actually unlock the door unless I find the exact spot, and this is proving to be a challenge because I seem to only get the window. So I'm going to head out into the cab for just a second. Stop crouching so I can run if I want to. And I may have to go through the entire cab to find my way out. This can be very difficult in the yard. Now, once again, the window is closed. That is very, very useful, isn't it? It's useful to know that the window is closed. Danger, shush. So getting out of this train is proving to be a bit of a challenge. I question whether this is what is supposed to happen if we end up getting stuck on the train. Are we supposed to just live in the yard? I don't know. Are we? So I'm going to make my way over to here. I'm going to try to open this door. I'm not going to be allowed to. So I'm going to open this door instead. And can we open this door, please? Oh. Guard door locked. Thank you very much. I can finally leave this train. No, I can't. Dude, seriously? You can't tell me the guard door is locked and you're not going to let me unlock it. Like, come on. I can't click on that door. I cannot click on that door. Can I open this one? No, Dude. This is not funny. This is not funny now. This is literally not funny. I'm trying to do a nice cab view video and this is what I get. Can I open this door? No, I can open the window. That's useful. I'm going to have to go all the way to the other cab to do this, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to have to go all the way to the other cab just to get out of this train. That's what's going to happen here. So, let's do that. Can I open this? Oh, look at this. No, driver's seat. Shush. Can this one open? So, I seem to be stuck on a train, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why I'm stuck on a train, but I'm stuck on a train. Can I sit in the driver's seat? Apparently I can sit in the driver's seat. I don't want to. I don't want to start this service. Let me out. Let me out of this train. Oh. No, that's still the driver's seat. Jerk. So, I'll figure out how to get off this train. I'll see you in a moment, guys. Why am I Are you kidding me? I can't move? Okay, let's reset this. I am trapped on a train. Help! Get me out of here. Oh. That's all I had to do? Really? I finally got out of my prison, guys. We're going to proceed now to look around the yard here. So you see me parked next to another class 141, or 101, why I say 141. So there's another one. Unlike the other one, if we hop into this cab, which if I walk up to it, we actually do not get locked in on this one, which is nice. And this one I can actually just go ahead, sit down, and you know, the schedule's empty. Darn, pity. Okay, so we're going to move it off this train and close the door. So we're going to keep looking around here, and there's a train over there. Let's go in this direction, actually. There's a train right here. And another nice empty train sitting here in the yard. Proceeding to the back here, you can see one more train here. Again, these trains all do not have schedules on them. I already looked. We can't go anywhere with any of them. There's nothing planned for any of them except for the one that we just brought in. Now, why they wouldn't use one of the other ones, I don't know. But they don't. Probably for simplicity in the timetable. So here's another nice, lovely... Wait a second. Is this one empty? This one looks empty. This is just coaching stock. It better be empty. It better be empty. It's coaching stock. Am I crouching? No, now I am. So, the question that I have to ask here is, what's going on here? Why are there people on this train? Let's, guys. Is this some special service? Can I sit down and, you know, I can sit down, but, guys. Attention passengers, you're sitting in a yard. Go do something. Okay, if you guys want to be zombies and just sit in a train in the yard, you know, that's your business. I'm just going to go ahead and look away from this abomination. They can have fun there. So I'll see you back in Train Sim Classic where we're actually driving a train and we can't walk around. And that will be tomorrow. So again, come back tomorrow for that. I hope you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and see all the Huddersfield Line scenarios as I play them. We are going to see reviews of all the scenarios so you can try them yourself however you want to in the future if you decide you want to buy this DLC. I guarantee you there are going to be modern day scenarios on various sites starting tomorrow. See you tomorrow on my channel for Huddersfield Line scenarios, and we're going to have some fun with this. It's going to be a lot of fun driving these scenarios and getting to know these trains. So I hope you enjoyed the preview. See you tomorrow. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.